Hey guys, I hope that y'all have been doing good. I miss y'all. I hope that all is well, that you're having a good time not being in school. If you're like me, how I was whenever I was in school, this would have been like a dream come true, not having to go in. Even though it's really not a good thing going on, I still would have been excited about not having to go to school. And so maybe you're like me and you're suddenly have time to do stuff that you usually don't have time to do. I've been trying to catch up on some shows on Netflix. Maybe you've been doing the exact same thing. Maybe Carrington, maybe you've been able to read a little bit more than usual. I don't know if anyone else reads because it's just not that fun, but good for you. So hopefully you had more time to do things that y'all enjoy doing and having fun. But there is something that I want to discuss right now. I want to ask you a question. And that question to you is, where has your focus been? Now you can think back to the last few days, the last few weeks, maybe the last several months, maybe even the last year or two. Where have you been putting your focus? Where has most of your thoughts, most of your time, most of your energy gone towards? Maybe it's sports. Maybe your focus has been on your grades. Maybe it's been on some other kind of extracurricular activity. Maybe it's been video games or reading or stuff like that. But I want you to think about where has your focus been. Of course, as Christians, our focus should be on God. Our main focus, most of our focus should be on Jesus. The book of Hebrews mentions 3 different times that as Christians we need to be drawing near to God. James even tells us that if we draw near to God, that he's also going to draw closer to us. And so we need to be growing in our relationship with him. We need to be getting to know him better and really, like it says, drawing near, growing closer to God. But how often do we maybe not do that? If you're like me, my number one excuse of maybe not drawing near to God, not spending as much time with him as I should, my main excuse is I just don't have the time for it. There's too many other things going on during my day where I don't have time a lot of times to really focus on my relationship with God. But now we can't really use that as an excuse, can we? I can't use that as an excuse with a lot of my work, not being able to do it, like studying for classes with y'all and not picking y'all up on Wednesdays, and not being able to go visit people. I have a lot more free time, as all of you do, without not having to go to school. And so I hope that we can use this or see this as an opportunity that we can be using to grow closer to God. Maybe as bad as all of this might be, as bad as this virus might be, maybe this is just what we needed in our faith. Maybe this is just what we needed in our relationship with God and as a Christian. Maybe this extra time is exactly what we needed for our spiritual lives and for our souls. Miss Peggy had something in the bulletin this past Sunday, and I'm going to read some of it, and it kind of reminded me of something else. But what it says is, it's titled Satan's Meeting, and it says, Satan called a worldwide convention of demons. In his opening address, he said, we can't keep Christians from going to church. We can't keep them from reading their Bibles and knowing the truth. We can't even keep them from forming an intimate relationship with their Savior. Once they gain that connection with Jesus, our power over them is broken. So let them go to their churches. Let them have their covered dish dinners. But here's what you do is you steal their time so they don't have time to develop a relationship with Jesus. This is what I want you to do, said the devil. Distract them from gaining hold of their Savior and maintaining that vital connection throughout their day. How shall we do this? His demon shouted. And the devil replied, keep them busy in non-essentials of life and invent innumerable schemes to occupy their minds. Entice them to listen to music all day. Entice them to keep watching TVs or movies and playing video games constantly in their homes, and see that every store and restaurant is playing music that they shouldn't be listening to. And all of this combined will jam their minds and break that union with Christ. Fill their houses and their coffee tables with magazines and newspapers and books. See, this reminded me of something that C.S. Lewis wrote. Maybe you know C.S. Lewis. He wrote the Chronicles of Narnia. Maybe you've seen those movies, or again, if you're like Carrington, maybe you've read the books. I don't know. But I've just seen the first movie. But he wrote a book called The Screwtape Letters. And basically what that book is about, it's written from a demon perspective. It's like a demon is writing. And this demon is writing to another demon who just became a demon. And he's trying to figure out and learn how to make people sin and fall away from God and not have a good relationship with God. And so this other demon is writing to him. And here's what he says. He says, you can make him do nothing. So he can make Christians do nothing at all for long periods. You can keep him up late at night. You can keep them from going out and doing these activities and avoid doing things that Christians do. And then whenever they arrive to hell, they will say, I now see that I spent most of my life doing neither what I ought to nor what I liked. And you may say these are very small sins, and doubtless, like all young tempters, you are anxious to be able to report spectacular wickedness. But do remember, the only thing that matters is the extent to which you separate the man from God. It does not matter how small the sins are, provided that they can come together to edge the man away from the light and out into the nothing. Murder is no better than cards if cards can do the trick. Indeed, the safest road to hell is the gradual one, the gentle slope, soft underfoot, without sudden turnings, without milestones, without signs pointing them towards hell. Now, I want to reread one part, but I'm going to replace a word. It says cards, and I'm going to I want you to replace it with whatever it is that you tend to use to waste your time, to distract yourself. He says murder is no better than cards or games or Netflix or sports or fishing or social media or hunting or whatever else, as long as those things can do the trick of separating you from God. See, I'm going to use some of this free time to do things I enjoy. It's a time that I get to actually do some things that I never have time to do, and I'm looking forward to it. But in 1 Corinthians chapter 16, verse 9, Paul is in Ephesus, and he's writing. As he's writing, he's in Ephesus, and he decides he's going to stay there a little bit longer. And here's what he says. He says, but I will stay in Ephesus until Pentecost, for a wide door for effective work has opened to me, but there are many adversaries. You see, this time away from school is a wide door of opportunity for you and for me. And I hope that we can take advantage of it. I hope that we can use it to draw near to God. But as Paul says that he has many adversaries, we have, an unmentionable, you can't count how many adversaries that we have to distract us and waste our times. And I've spent some of our time already listing a lot of those, and you have your own list probably of things that tend to waste your time. Don't let those things distract you from what's most important. In 2 Corinthians chapter 4, I'm almost done here. And in 2 Corinthians chapter 4, verse 16 through 18, so we do not lose heart, though our outer self is wasting away, our inner self. The wind's blowing my pages. I'm going to start over. 2 Corinthians chapter 4, verses 16 through 18. So we do not lose heart, Though our outer self is wasting away, our inner self is being renewed day by day. Think about that for a second. Our outer self is wasting away. You look at the world and people getting sick and then getting this virus. This world is wasting away. Our bodies are wasting away. We're aging. I'm going bald, right? We're wasting away, but our inner selves, man, they're being renewed day by day. Every day is a blessing from God, and we need to use it for God and for His glory. For this light, momentary affliction is preparing us for an eternal weight of glory beyond all comparison. I'm going to read that again. For this light, momentary affliction, the coronavirus maybe, is preparing us for an eternal weight of glory beyond all comparison. The coronavirus is an affliction. There's no doubt. There's people out there hurting. But man, it's given us a chance to prepare for our eternal salvation. It's giving us a chance to prepare to be in glory with God and with Jesus. And that's better than any of these things that we can be doing to distract ourselves. And lastly, in verse 18, as we look not to the things that are seen, but to the things that are unseen. For the things that are seen are transient, or of this world, but the things that are unseen are eternal. What are you focused on? What have you been focused on? Maybe you've been focused on the things that you can see. Maybe you've been focused on your electronics, whatever's on your phone and social media or sports or your grades or whatever else. And not any of those things are bad, but if we're using them to waste time, if we're doing those things and focused on those things and not spending time with God and not focused on God, that's when they become a sin, like I read from the demon's perspective. I hope that we can be focused on the things unseen. I hope that we can be focused on our faith, on our spirituality, on our relationship with God. And throughout the rest of this time that we're in quarantine and not having classes, I'm going to be sending these videos to y'all. And this will probably be the longest one, but I'm going to give you tips and some things that you can be doing to draw near to God. So I hope that you stay to the end of this, and I hope that you watch the ones that I send later on just some suggestions and things that we can be doing to help refocus our lives away from all these distractions and towards God and towards the unseen and what's important, so that we can draw near to God during this opportunity that we've been given to grow closer to Him. Again, I miss all of you. I hope to see you soon. As of right now, we're still going to have worship on Sunday from 10 to 11. So hopefully I'll see you there. But if not, stay safe and just stay well. And again, don't just waste your time, but take advantage of this time. And again, I hope to see all of you soon.